There's nothing anybody really needs to know. It's just a process of letting go, trusting who you really are, being who you really are, and stop holding on to everything beside that. But if you already know that, you don't need to hear me say it. And everybody knows it at some point because that's who they are. But mostly everyone will hear words said in that pattern and process it through their mind and then try to make sense of it in a way that relates to the social order that they are already in allegiance to and to the mechanisms of how they perceive this world functioning. And most of that perception is based on that things are fixed here and that everybody knows that, so it's not even worth bringing up. However, this place is reflecting your inner you to you and the path of the greater all. And the collective unconscious is also very much in play. The collective unconscious is reflecting its inner self. And this place is reflecting that back to the collective unconscious as well. And most are identified with that. So trying to figure yourself out while being beholden to a collective unconscious is a tough path. And that entire path is mostly feeding nooks and crannies in the mind. Mind's not good or bad. It's a wonderful, wonderful mechanism. It's perfect. But it's not meant to be the one that gives first and final dictation. It's meant to be the creator, not the one who's authoring and telling step two what to create. You're meant to start with your heart, which is the prism of your soul, which is to a certain degree connected to the greater, what would be called God consciousness. The singular one love. And in that core truth doesn't even have to be truth, that core essence gives guidance with clarity. And then you take the mind and allow the mind, not the brain, but the mind, to create from what the heart gives the guidance of saying, this is what we are now going to focus on. So intention, attention. And your body follows the mind naturally, and you act with friction and great courage on what your mind is paying attention to. Our minds are so it's difficult to figure things out from our mind, but we're trained to only do that. It's very easy to perceive things once you have an experience and a resonance of that. But to perceive things that you're not aware that you have an experience of, or you're not sure you have a shared resonance of, is extremely suspicious. It seems like the truth may look like lies in that scenario. So everybody has to come to the place within themselves of where they are and what they're doing and where they're going on their own journey in their own timing. There's rhythm here. Timing can be everything. There's multiple tricks being played here, but they're not nefarious. They're not to screw anyone over. It's part of the mechanism of this mind that we are participating in, which is how I perceive it. That all of this and this and this and everything and this life flow is a mind. And the only thing that's not really a mind is the real you, connecting back to the real you. And you do that through connecting through your heart, through breathing, conscious awareness, sitting, walking, meditation, whatever it takes for you, getting in the flow state to connect back to you. Now, a few tricks that are fairly easy to point out. This place takes away your memory. So the more time you spend here, time, the more you forget there's a real you and how to get back to you and what you're doing here. Start chasing your tail, living in the program, serving the game, starting from your mind, getting confused, getting really, really, really good at being a character in the game instead of dictating, instead of living your mission and your purpose. You're like, look how good I'm fitting in. Well, it's easy to fit in. If anyone hasn't noticed, the game will always open new spots up for anybody to fit in anywhere all the time. It's a multiple choice game. Everywhere everyone looks, there are offerings from a collective unconscious order. Why don't you get in here? Why don't you get in here? Why don't you get in here? Why don't you do this? Stay in the mind. Don't look at the real you. You want to look at the real you? That's cool. Let's do that in a little bit. But first, become an accountant. It's not good or bad. It's just pretty obvious. So a trick here is that this place takes away your memory. There is no you in another place or in another awareness or in a before or in an after or any other. Hmm. That will lead into the third part. The second trick, well, there's a multitude of tricks, but what I'm laying out right now, the second trick is that there's this insinuation that there's such thing as equal. There's nothing and no one ever on any level, in any conversation, in any atmosphere, in any scenario, could ever be equal. Love and loyalty is all that matters. Everything is situational, and everything is always changing. There is no equal anywhere. That's part of the amazing beauty of this experience, of this place, this organism, of this mind, of this nature. Is everything is bespoke. Everything is unique. Everything is wonderful and connected, but is of its own nuance. everything. There is no one thing that is exactly the same as any other thing ever in any way. And the multitude of aspects of the embodiment, the character of you, is not equal to anything. It's unique to you. And it's unique to you in each still sitting moment and each moment morphs. All of that is unique and it's always changing. There's no way anything or anyone are equal on any level. And there is no good and bad. There is no better or worse. Good and bad is you have to separate pretty far to see there's no good and bad. It feels good and bad. But there is no, because nothing's equal, there is no better or worse. It is a flow of creation, which is continuing to proliferate creation through a unique journey, but that journey is also part of the journey of the all. So this place takes away your memory, and there's no such thing as equal. This third part is something that underlines everything here, and something that is very easy to say, but once you begin to perceive through the lens, a lot of stuff will make more sense. Doesn't mean it's easy to hold on to, but it gives a bit of a remembrance to look at the character of you and look at the aware of you. So, third trick is that there's an insinuation that this place is big and that you are small. Yet, in truth, you are phenomenally powerful and large. And this place only only holds true meaning and energy because something as large in you is paying attention to it, and that this place itself is small. It seems backward. A lot of stuff does. But when you allow yourself to begin to gamble on that internally and perceive, I am phenomenally large, I am phenomenally powerful, and this place is small. It takes the load off. It's not I'm not saying add this into like a repertoire of internal affirmation tricks. I'm saying this is actually how it is. It takes some like poking the portal and getting used to that gel plasma before you walk through it to kind of come to grips with maybe that's not just some words. Maybe that is how it is. You are everything. You are the one. The real you beyond everything. When you enter your heart and sit with who you really are, what you really are. Divine, limitless spirit energy. Sit with yourself as energy. Forgive everything, forgive everyone, forgive yourself, and then allow all of it to flow. And eventually, it will just be mind water. And eventually, you separate from that. And then you're just the everything. And you realize you've always been everything. But you're putting yourself in this tight little thing inside to be able to embody a, a role here. And part of the role is middling yourself to make everyone else comfortable. and they're doing the same thing, middling themselves to make everyone else comfortable. Nobody realizes it, and when somebody does realize it, there's no way they can actually say it to anybody because it's because you perceive to the state of your belief. You literally see what you believe, and that when you come to that realization, you will see that no matter what you say, no one else will see it, and so you don't say shit. And then the more you let go and allow and let go and allow, the more you grow internally. And then the flow of life, which is what God in this place really is, the flow of life through you, that, which is also the greater you, that will show your growth, your internal expansion, your growth in awareness, your growth in as love. It will show it back to you, and you'll have these little synchronicities or these big moments or these connections with others, or you'll begin to have paths drawn out in front of you that you could not have necessarily created yourself. The more you lean into your awareness and open your internal belief structure into an expansion of openness, the more you have the opportunity to unfold yourself. The real self of you begins to grow, and the real tree of you begins to come out. And then you can actually live your mission. And everybody has two things here. Everybody has their mission. And everybody's mission is exactly the same. Always, as far as I can see it. You can take all this as allegory because I'm giving it to you as far as I can see it. But if I'm betting, that too will mold and change. The only thing that doesn't change as far as I can see is the real you. But that's bending. It's just that its core is holding for everything. It's here. It's there. It's all. Everything else is things coming from themes. And the themes are telling the story of your divine, limitless spirit energy growth. So the real you is sitting and unfolding. But to unfold, it requires more space. And that space is created by you letting go of all these internal ropes that you're holding on to. And these ropes you're holding on to mostly come from a internal state of memories of attempting to serve something that we suspected was the right thing to do for safety, like safety for society, or safety for family, or safety for our inner child, or safety for whatever sense of small self or service. And that safety is tied to all these tacit fears that either we came here we came here to address and overcome as part of our base personality, or environmental infringements or traumas, or opportunities, because everything's an opportunity that have been graciously offered to us and that we didn't rise to the occasion. So there's all this stuff inside of us in our consciousness that seeps down and is projected back out into our reality. And there's these things that we don't want to address about ourselves. And so we continue to stifle ourselves on a consistent basis. And we don't want to go back in and address these fears. But the fears are actually here to be guiding posts for us, to give us direction on what we're supposed to be doing. They're inside telling us, hey, look at me. And so they're giving us these feelings in our body that we usually don't like. And so we grow up not wanting to look and feel those feelings. And so what ends up happening is we go into this process of not wanting to feel those difficult feelings of the body, of the emotions, of the spirit, the psyche, telling us, look at this thing we're supposed to address. Instead of addressing it, all right, I had to stop and get my boy in here. Address the scenario. So you have feelings. And your feelings, amongst other things, are receiving information and showing you feedback. And this place is also showing you feedback. And are kind of insinuated, not directly told, but we're told enough through insinuation that if anybody says anything different, they're like, what? No. That this place is fixed and that you just want to soothe your what would be considered like hurtful or fearful feelings and then focus on the fun and easy times. And it's just foolish, really. It's incredibly foolish as separation of cause and effect. So it's the desire to it's the desire for comfort and for fitting in is what it is. And comfort is the welcome mat to great discomfort. And fitting in is basically just serving society, serving collective unconscious. Nothing good or bad about that, but that's what it is. So it's very predictable. And it's a safety net. So it's unintentionally worshiping something with your divine energy. And remember, you are big. This place is small. But you feel small because you're serving something. Or you, me, whoever it is. Most folks. What should be occurring is that we stop more often in our life. We perceive and take some frame of our awareness in our stillness, in our listening, in our observing of the external. It doesn't have to be in this order, but just give an example. Okay, this is what it is right now. And then the more you do it, the more you realize some of this stuff that's here is connected to some stuff that is now and or before was going on through me. And I'm participating in the projection of why things are the way they are. And then you look at yourself. You look internally. You begin to observe, say, your body. Observe your state. Observe your mind. Observe your thoughts. Or just information coming in and out. And if you're even thinking about anything, or if you are thinking about something, what are the habitual things that are spinning? Is there a certain type of conversation that's continuing? Is that conversation detrimental? Is it something you might be embarrassed to say to somebody else? Is it like this? Or is it like, or is it a list of things to do? And if you're about to die, there is no death, merely opportunities before. But if you're about to leave your body, would any of that shit be something that you actually would care about at all? Likely none of it has any real value. It's just taking up the space of your attention. It's your mind trying to figure out what to do because your mind is accidentally in placeholder number one and in placeholder number two, and sometimes in placeholder number three, when we're supposed to receive direction from our heart and then allow our mind to position itself as we tell it to, and we control its attention, its spotlight on what we receive from our heart. And by listening to our heart and separating, we can perceive much, much greater as the observer, as the aware. And you can continue to fully pull back until you're not what would be considered you anymore. And then that's when you're entering the realm of the real you. Everybody lives in their own world of resonance. And this place itself, this mind, this life, this earth is a realm of some sort. And then, so you can observe the external and then come to the realization that you're participating in that. You can observe the mind itself and come to the realization that the mind is a tool, it's not you. And then you can also observe what's going on with your what's being fed internally to you. So things are being fed externally back to you, and things are being fed internally back to you. So what's the chemicals? What's the feelings? What's the emotions? What's the storyline through feelings that you're receiving? And if you begin to allow that instead of stifling it, allow that to show itself, you just stop. Basically, all this is stop being such a bitch and being scared of yourself. If you stop being scared of yourself just for a second, you let it hurt just for a second, you'll see, oh, that's where it's coming from. Okay, I let it hurt for a little bit more. Oh, okay, I see a little bit more. I have a little more space. I didn't shut it down right away. And with that, I can see a little more in there. I see a little more. I don't have to focus all my energy on like chasing stuff around my feelings, but I become aware that my feelings are telling me a story of something to address about myself. And the more I address those things one by one without trying to be incredibly controlling and analytical about it, I will receive a much, much better experience through this flow of life, and I will be able to grow so I'm not the same character in this game. Everything changes when you realize that you are big and this place is small. However, lots of times that will also occur at some point of like dark night of the soul or switching of the south to north node or midlife crisis or other great change in life. And so one may be looking at, well, I have that intellectual or that I have that information. I am big, this place is small, whatever. But also I distrust science and also this political party and also money, money, money. There's periods of what's considered to be loss in life. And the better you get at these things, the more the theme is already written and will show up, but it might not show up in what's considered to be the most detrimental way. So much of your life is already written as themes. And if you run away from those themes, then you're going to receive things that are, yeah, predetermined basically. But if you go in and begin to accept those themes and then write more in your journey, in your book of belief expand yourself more and more, then those themes are still there, but they may appear in different states of things. So, poverty can very much turn to riches or wealth. It's because poverty and wealth are connected, hot, cold, all of that. So it's not a perspective of manipulation and to like go figure out your feelings and go figure out this place, go figure yourself out so that you can figure out a way to use alchemical polarity and get riches. It's about getting yourself back to the real you, and that's a long process. And through that process, there will be valleys. And in those valleys, we will continue to learn how to focus on our growth even in despair. And by focusing on our growth even in despair, the real us, we are no longer attached to worst possible, what would feel like worst possible outcome from these set themes in life. And so one theme could be 5,000 different event scenarios that appear. But we must go through the process of the themes. To do this properly, I have found you really have to forgive everything. You have to forgive everyone. And that gives you the grace, the opportunity to forgive yourself. And it may feel like, well, it's not a big deal. I'm just trying to grow myself as a spirit. I don't have shit to forgive. And I don't have anyone to forgive. And I see that everyone's on their own journey. We're all a certain state one, whatever. There's no need for that. And I don't need protection. And I don't have anything to forgive myself for. That's just genuinely a bunch of bullshit. You, if anybody ever hears this, you have stuff inside you that is feeding into some tightness. For you to be able to expand and be your greatest self, you must release, let go to flow, to become the flow of life, the flow of the divine flowing through this life, to become the breath, to become the greater awareness of you, and then get better and better at staying there in that space. All the stuff you don't think you have to forgive, it's not about any one thing. You must forgive everything. A lot. Forgive everything. Forgive everyone. But when you have any doubt in any scenario, the answer is to forgive. It doesn't mean be weak. It's just, this is it. You forgive everything. You forgive everyone. And you forgive yourself over and over and over. Not in a manner of like a religious, pious, this is what I must do every day or I'm messing up. But in a practice of allowing yourself to expand, you're receiving more space. More space as the character is, more space for the greater energy of singular one love spirit, your awareness, your consciousness, your greater self to flow and enter and guide you, to fill you up. Empty thy cup and then fill it up. To have an empty cup, create more space for yourself, write a greater story inside. To do that, forgive everything. If you continually dedicate yourself to forgiving everything, you will, in a natural state, just allow things to flow through your fingers and let it go. And the more you do that, the more you let it go, a couple things will occur. You will grow. Your belief structure will open up and begin to expand a little bit. You will have the opportunity to receive in the grace of your higher self, of of God, of singular one love, of Shiva Shakti, Divine Mother, of Jesus, of Buddha, whatever it is. And you will also be able to, you will have more space within yourself to be able to pay attention to things easier in a singular manner without without feeling scattered, because the more you forgive, the more you let go, the less there is for the mind to grab onto to continually show you. If you've forgiven something, focus on one thing, or just as a as a byproduct of genuinely from the heart forgiving, and it kind of dissipates, it's going to be less and less a scenario with a coworker or whatever. It's going to be less and less of something that actually pops into your mind and you are triggered to put your attention on. It just eventually it will be like that happened in somebody else's life. It doesn't even mean it. It's not even part of me anymore. And you will grow to the place where you don't respond to other people's lives. You bless them and give them grace. Bless all beings. Bless myself. Bless life itself. It's not a religious or non-religious. It's not a female male. It's not like a tough guy or a soft girl thing. It's just the truth. If you forgive everything, you forgive everyone, you forgive yourself, you are growing. And the real you is attempting to unfold internally. So you're giving the real you more and more opportunity. And this life is giving you in every molecule, in every microsecond, more and more opportunity. Everything is merely opportunity and a reflection and a refraction. So if you begin to perceive within yourself in a real, true, like I'm going to sit with this thing and look at it and then look inside myself and then look at it and then look inside myself without going too crazy about it. Just what if I am really profoundly, phenomenally large? What if I am divine limitless spirit energy? What if this place is an offering for my own growth? And that when really looked at with the widest angle, this place is small and I'm big. What if the only reason it feels opposite is because my whole life I've identified with what everybody else felt like? And so there was a story that was accepted, and nobody really knows where that story came from. They can point at stuff. And that story insinuated that this place is big and I was small. What if it's all a story we're telling ourselves? What if you find the courage to tell yourself a different story? Go into your heart. That is who you are. If you go into your heart enough, there's nothing that needs to be said. You can accomplish anything. you honestly won't want to just accomplish anything if you dedicate yourself to growing and becoming one with the real you that you already are. That's who you. That's the only way there is. That's who you are. Is you, which is also difficult to ascertain from this perspective sometimes, but is also the singular one love. You are the energy that's created everything, but we think of this as everything. Yeah. This life is a stage, a stage like a play, but also a stage like a step. And there's no scenario in which you're not growing. You're growing through it no matter what. You're already perfect. There are no traps. The bad guys are literally just playing their part. And they're not bad guys if you separate yourself and look back far enough. And if you separate yourself and look back far enough, everything and everybody is right. Because nothing is fixed here. This is not all of you. You are the all and the beyond. You are the essence of love. And it's okay if everybody around you doesn't see it. They are too. It's all okay. Life is a flow of God, and it's playing the game in which you're allowing it to show you. And if you're timid or scared to allow that game to be played at a certain level, then it will provide you with the steps to become more secure in that level or an opportunity to stay in the safety net which you desire to hold on to. Everything is an offer, everything is an opportunity. There are extremely frustrating things, but if you look past them just for a brief moment, realize these are things deriving from themes that are actually here to give me, as the Great Spirit, the opportunity to grow. And to know that I know. And to know that I know enough times, over and over and over again, that eventually I don't forget anymore. And I live as my mission. I live as the real me. Honor your purpose by following your gifts. Oh, that's funny. You find your purpose by honoring your gifts and by following your bliss. Hmm. There's nowhere to go and there's nothing to do, really. The things that you require for yourself that you desire to do are in there so that you continue to push your energy forward and unfold more of yourself. Everything is an offering so you can get to a place of being fulfilled with an interest of realizing where you came from and what you are. You are the divine. You're also having an experience of embodiment. Your mind is a tool for you, a creation tool in this place. In my opinion, this place is also a mind. Your body, so that you, as divine limitless spirit energy, can interact with this magical place. And you are perfect. There can be no other way. Most of your life you've spent reacting to things and not knowing what's going on. The way you start to figure out what's going on, and you don't have to figure everything out. I don't either. We don't have to know every single thing. That's not the point. You can come here to know, hold up a flag, say, I know every single thing about this place. Uh, then what? You gonna stay the character here forever? I don't know. Doesn't seem like. I mean, maybe there's something to that, but it doesn't seem like that's the move to me. Seems like the move is in letting go and forgiving and growing yourself and being your best self and fulfilling your mission of actually being the real you embodied, shining your entire light courageously. Not to thumb it at anybody else's nose, but that's what we're supposed to do here, and everybody's scared to do it. Do it all the way. It might take you 85 years, and then for 3 years you do it, and it's amazing. And then the 88th year, it's like, all right, you did it. See ya. You're out of here. Okay. That seems like a pretty great deal. Do that. I'm in the process of trying to do it right now. Not trying, but doing. Watch nature, and it will give you the messages that you require. Watch less stuff on computers and phones. Find one or two things that are truly speaking to your heart and use them as supplementary guidance when you feel called, but not all the time. Begin to trust the divine. Speak about it to yourself, not in a psychosis way, in an interesting way of allowance. You can program your mind for whatever you want. You can program your mind for success and hypnosis and all the things. I'm not against it. That's just a stage. Eventually, the goal should be to take control of yourself, take control of the mind, and say, I love you too. And the fears and the feelings. And you start to listen to everything, but you don't, none of it is even close to controlling you. You are the divine. You are awareness. You are consciousness. You are the energy of all. You are God. You are singular one love. You are the omniscient space. And the spark of creation. Enjoy the ride. But the ride is a lot better if you dedicate a few minutes every day to stop paying attention to anything except for who you really are. And then allow your feelings to tell you messages and you listen to them. You say, okay, and stop the world and then address them. And allow the external to reflect messages to you. You say, okay, you stop the world, you address them. Then you see the mind, but you live in the heart. The heart is a portal, it's a prism of your soul, of the real you. Listen to your higher self, the energies, the guides, the angels, the ancestors, the whatever it is that you like to hear. It's all energy. Life is much, much sweeter, much greater when you dedicate yourself to being you. And if you don't, you'll continue to serve the thing that's not erroneous, excuse me, but it's running, it's just the machine is running out of order. The machine that responds to the body first out of a reaction, or the mind first out of an over attempt of trying to manage everything and figure everything out and create everything all at the same time, play by everybody's rules and like find your niche and whatever, you're you're missing the purpose of the rites of passage. You're missing the purpose of life itself. You're missing the purpose of coming here, shining your light, of living as your mission of who you really are. And you're missing the availability of fulfilling the greater and greater, further purpose that is embedded in you. You may ask, you may accomplish the first stepping stones, the 2, 3, 4 purposes that you have, and that may receive some type of social or monetary accolade, but you it will it will become more and more difficult if you stay entrenched in that and you don't broaden your horizons and you don't expand your belief structure internally to focus on your mission and then make your purpose align with your mission because it's already there. Everything is talking to you everywhere all the time. This isn't like whatever people call woo woo, or I don't even listen to that shit. I don't know. It's just go sit. Just if you're so, if you know and you're so sure, go sit by yourself and ask. Go sit in the forest by yourself and ask and see what happens. You that's probably the best way to expand your belief structure. Go out to nature by yourself and see what happens. And something ask out loud and ask the divine of whatever it is that you are comfortable with asking at that time. And then sit with yourself and really open up and listen. Don't look for things, just listen. Give yourself a couple hours. Something will pop in. It's a little different than the norm. If you spend most of your energy looking at things that are social order mechanisms, you're going to feel better and better about holding on to one team or the other of the control that you like. And people, and I used to say this too, people may say that's serving your masters, but those aren't your masters. Those are just characters. And you as the character are just playing a character too. It's just an illusion. And it's okay. It's all right. But if you really want to know, stop. Breathe. Go sit outside and ask with no expectation. Trust in love. It's a hard thing to do when you're not used to it. Trust in love. And love will show. Love will appear. I promise love will be there. Always has been. In fact, it's who you really are. You're just sitting there waiting for yourself. But things are out of order. Serving the mind, serving the body, but probably not really taking care of the body the way it wants to be. The quickest way to get where you're going is to forgive everything, forgive everyone, forgive yourself. It takes like 30 seconds to a minute. You'll feel wonderful. You'll begin to let everything go just naturally, and then you have the opportunity to focus on and open your heart. Physically, your heart organ, your center chakra, but more importantly, just the center of your actual being. And you open the center of your being, and you will find sitting right there the whole time is your presence. And then your prism, your message from your higher self, God, will, the consciousness, the all, the energy that's already right here will flow through you. And that's what you really want. And when you do that more and more, you will replace the comfort of the social orders and the collective unconscious with the comfort of actually beginning to be yourself. And the more you're yourself, the more you shine your light in this place. And the more you shine your light in this place, the more you make it okay for everybody else to shine their light. Their real light, who they really are. The more everybody does that, wow. So, that's it, I suppose. You're the biggest thing there's ever been. This place is wonderful and perfect, but it's so much smaller than you. It literally is only functioning on the divine energy of you. And so it's a gift to you. It's a trial, but it's also a game. But you're not playing this game. The game is playing you and what you're allowing it to do. Figure it out. It's showing you back to you, and it's showing you what you must address. The mind sometimes shows us distraction and resistance over and over until we get addicted to watching it. We don't realize we are, and we just forget we have all these moments in this one moment to stop and to breathe and take control of ourselves and to enter our heart and to truly be guided by ourself, our real self, to truly be living as awareness, to truly be in the presence of love. Everybody thinks that's bullshit because almost nobody tries it because it feels uncomfortable because they're used to serving something that is serving them a dish of distraction and resistance. They only do that because everybody else does it and nobody fucking knows why. Take control of yourself. Participate in your life. Make this the one that you become your real self. I love you. You're the biggest thing there's ever been. Prima Voltus Interior.